Morning, welcome to We Are Live. We're live from Midcoast Studio in Grand Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Check out midcoast.media for more information. Excited to see him not rushing around Times Square. It's Marvis Moreau. Good morning, Travis.
Yes, I am back in the apartment today. I am no longer roaming the hot, sweltering, crowded streets of the heart of Manhattan, and I'm happy to be with you both today.
Being awfully nice, which means I'm guessing that meeting didn't go that great yesterday. Good morning, Chris Gardner. He's the stream queen and executive producer right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Hello, Chris.
That was funny.
I get one in every once in a
I
while.
don't know if it's true, but it was funny at least.
Yeah.
It's all that really matters.
It's
though,
fun
right?
to analyze motivations.
Right or wrong doesn't matter as long as it's funny.
For those we know best, analyzing their motivations are probably the most fun you can have as an adult.
I will say good morning
Very true.
to you, Mr. Denman.
Do the thing where you with the sign and
I will say good morning to you, Mr. Terrell. And I will say
Namaste.
Buddhist appropriation.
good morning to my walnuts
Wow.
in a way
Throw it up.
that a sociopath would.
Hmm.
That sociopath, Jameis Winston.
Oh. No.
Oh, don't eat it.
No.
Oh, don't eat it.
Oh, Derek Dockett, make a new GIF. Oh, no. That's horrible.
Gross.
So Gardner just put 3 of his fingers into his mouth, just like
Remember?
his
Mm.
buddy, Jameis.
Remember when he did that?
I do. Yeah.
He was eating the W.
Well, good for him. On the show today, photojournalist, award-winning photojournalist Robert Cohen. You know where he's from, Gardner?
I do.
The St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Indeed.
Thanks for playing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, my stomach's churning because Gardner made sure to tell me of some horrific news that just circulated right here in St. Louis. And I have to talk about it to exercise it. Are we okay jumping into that, Gardner?
That's fine.
Just got an
That's
email
fine.
from the Post-Dispatch as well. My stomach literally churning. A man, 37 years old, his mother passed away. Just found a mummified baby in her freezer. I guess it had been there quite a while, and now this is going around everywhere. And Gardner tells me 1.3 minutes before we go to air.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that. Now I must share my pain with you. So yeah, Mom was keeping a mummified baby in a freezer. Not hyperbole, not making it up. This is now making the rounds. Welcome back to St. Louis, Trav.
Soon.
So you know my first question.
Clifton
Was she?
Heights. Clifton Heights.
Yes, she was.
Okay. You're welcome, by the way, for me not making this my great American race.
Well, that'll be tomorrow.
Well, and you know what? It's smart by Chris to take that away from
Yeah,
you
I take the
by
power
using
from you.
it
I bring it out.
within the show itself.
Yeah. Then
That
we've
was
already
a smart
covered it.
play. That was a smart play. I
I
still
knew
don't
she-
think
I don't
Chris
know,
is
but I
gonna be
knew.
prepared for my story.
Well,
I don't think he's ready.
Well, tomorrow that will be a blast. But today we focus on my stomach literally churning. I love coffee with all my life, and I'm staring at my coffee going, I don't know if I can drink it. It's so gross.
Here's
it's
my
so
question.
disturbing. There's obviously a mental something with this, and I feel worse for the
So-
son finding it, actually.
Well, that was my question. I'm
Well, maybe
curious
not-
as to
Maybe not as bad as I feel
whether-
for the daughter.
well, I'm curious as to whether the son or the family had an awareness of their mother's behavior, in the sense that maybe they thought that she could have been capable of something like this, maybe something in her past or before she passed away that would maybe give off a sign or two that expressed that this woman was capable of doing something so monstrous.
Within the story, the guy mentions it's my computer.
Can you move it?
No, I can't yet, so
Oh.
it's gonna have to stick for a moment. But this is what happened. Sorry, Travis. Misophonia's kicked in, and
Oh, it's all good.
Chris has lost the ability to operate. Now he can. So the question was about the gentleman finding the baby. What was the question again?
Yes, I guess I was curious as to, I didn't read the story, of course, but I'm curious, did she have a history of mental
Right.
illness? How did
I
how did the
didn't.
son not know? And when I say not know, I feel like if you have a bond or relationship with your parents, maybe when you go visit them and you were, just noticing what's going on around the house, you can maybe pick up the stench of a body inside of a refrigerator. So I'm
Right.
curious as to the relationship between mother and son for her to be able to keep a mummified baby in a freezer without anyone having a clue.
From what I've read so far, and I haven't read all the stories out there, um, he had mentioned that she was secretive about parts of her life.
Mm.
And so I don't know about mentally where she was or anything along those lines. But he said that, the gentleman, the son, I don't have the name in front of me, um, he's 37, so he said that's been there for, at
He
least 37 years.
Thought it was a wedding cake top.
Yeah, that's what she had told him. He never had opened the box.
Yeah, why would you?
I guess she had dodged, any questions about it in the past as well, and he just kind of let
There,
it
there
go.
had to have been a walk up. Like you don't wake up one day and just decide to keep a mummified baby in a freezer. There had to have been other incidents where the mother displayed behavior that would be considered abnormal.
Well, from the story, Adam Smith finding out his mother wasn't who he thought she was. She would disappear for months at a time and not typically contact anyone from the family. Again, you can check this out on STL today. He said he's estranged from his father, but contacted him through social media to report what he'd found in the freezer. The dad said his mom was pregnant on their very first date and that the next time he saw her, she was not, Adam Smith said.
Hold on, man. Look. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's
So it's looking like in the
that's
story.
so many questions. So many questions.
Yeah, yeah.
In the
And
story,
by no
I think
means,
we
by
all
the way,
do.
I'm not blaming the son. I'm
No,
not
no,
blaming the son or any of the family members. This is fascinating in the sense that, for a woman to do something of this magnitude, at some point, I would imagine throughout their history of knowing their mother, that, you know, signs were shown. Like,
Well,
and I would again. I'm sorry. It's. I don't know. I guess because my relationship with my parents are different, and people can have a strange relationship with their parents. Happens all the time. The idea that you would not ask questions when your parents go missing months on end would be baffling to me.
well, have you met your
Like,
dad
yeah,
yet?
I don't talk to my father every day, but I
Right.
would imagine that if he didn't show up or I didn't hear about him for 6 weeks, someone would be drastically concerned.
All
Well,
right. Well,
and-
it just became a pattern with someone, so they expected it. I think.
Correct. Yeah, I would
Is
think
how
you
it
can't
goes.
blame it. If
Gotcha.
you got to think you grow up in that. Like they literally in the story it says.
It becomes normal.
And again, go to STL today. Read
Fair.
this story. Show them some love. But it says she would never answer questions about the box when they were kids, and it moved with her for 20 years. And he found some cigarettes that she was hiding.
Listen here, man. Y'all
She
got to
had-
start questioning your parents. This is, if anything, the story
Careful.
tells us anything. Question your parents.
Careful. That Tom Joyner cruise
No,
may
what-
not have just been for pleasure.
No.
Maybe your dad's a
I
secret
think-
agent. You wouldn't know.
I think.
He's
Well,
handsome
that's
enough.
a good point.
Right.
Man, you know what? That kind of would make sense.
He does like martinis shaken, not stirred. Good point.
He does like
That
rap
would be- that-
songs
but that
turned
would make
into
sense.
jazz songs.
He sleeps with girls more attractive than I do.
How funny would it be if my dad used me as a cover for an undercover assignment when I went on the Tom Joyner morning cruise?
Oh,
What
for
if I
sure.
was just bait?
Yeah, you're a bumbling radio show host, and while you're out trying to swing and miss with all the ladies, he's involved in international mystery. I don't see that there's any other way
Wow,
that this could have
that
happened.
would be hilarious. And
Yeah.
you know what? Technically,
Oh, and you're the writer? Yeah. Take it to the bank, mister.
Oh yeah, maybe I've been.
Screw 007.
Oh my goodness, I've been the pawn this entire time. I've been
Mhm.
the idiot in a superhero movie.
We call this
I've
one.
been the guy not knowing that his own family are superheroes, and I think they're just lame because I think I'm cool.
Yeah, that's a problem. But you're perfect. You're a perfect patsy. And we'll
Is
call the
your-
movie Double
Yeah.
Bro 7.
Is your reality that boring? That's where we're heading towards
Yeah,
now?
I think so. Yeah, Travis is gonna start calling me off air and
Maybe
be like,
not
"Hey,
boring,
tell me more about what you think my
but
family's like.
yeah.
I'd like to picture
Yeah.
this."
Boring's not the right word.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Do
you
they
want to
right?
get away from
Right.
whatever your reality is and create a new one.
Yeah. Now, Chris, do they ride around on jet skis when I'm asleep on the boat? Yeah, buddy, they do. Yeah, they sure do. Did he punch a shark in
And
the
yeah, but
nose?
but you
Sure
would
did.
ask a question, like, even at this point in your life, if have you guys taken the time to ask questions that you may have had as kids to your parents now that you're adults?
Now, if this is my family, we had a farm, bunch of Rottweilers. That baby's probably going to be digested by a dog.
Oh.
That's a horrible thought, but my parents are they're gonna take the necessary precautions.
How's that coffee?
But think about it. Have there been moments in in your lives, Gardner or Chris, where your parents there's a gap or there's a story that they never finished, and you've always wondered why? Because Chris, you do live on a farm. The likelihood of there being bodies buried are higher than Gardner and I. So I'm curious, there isn't a story or a situation you remember growing up that has gaps to the story that makes you want to question your parents.
Now, I will say this: don't feel like I was lied to much, but without the typical parent stuff, just looking out for your kids. But I do remember this. This would come to mind, and this would be a funny scene in a movie. And I think maybe I've brought it up. I wish my dad would have lied about a horse having to be put down because
Oh boy.
it wasn't buried deep enough.
Jesus.
One of the dogs came around the corner with a giant horse leg. And how great would that be had they lied? Like, oh yeah, black stallion's down at the vet. He'll be fine. And then the dog comes around the corner with half a horse leg. Like, the Farrelly brothers couldn't write that. Come on, that's great.
Jesus.
No, I don't
Jeez.
feel like my parents have hidden any children in freezers.
We're
I'm
pretty-
trying to, like, little things you find out, like maybe you would find out something like, I can't think of anything that's even remotely interesting. And my parents probably listen to this and be like, dumbass. Still, thank God for that.
Gardner, I
CTE.
don't know Grandma Evans. I don't know her,
Oh,
but I
God.
feel like Grandma Evans hasn't told you 100% of all of her stories.
Oh, I'm sure not. But
Right.
she's pretty open. If I pick, she'll
Okay.
she'll tell me. Like she's told me a lot of stories. Look, growing up was not easy for her.
Right, she had you as a grandchild.
Well, even before that.
Oh, sorry.
Like,
That's my mistake.
They bounced around. They were poor. They
Right.
were Irish. Oh.
Ooh. You thought that story made me sick.
Maybe poor kind of intimated they were Irish to begin
Got
with
it.
as well.
Got it.
So you hear some of her stories. Well, I mean, hell, she lived she lived in Maplewood, lived in the city, and a lot of places in North St. Louis. Like she was around when riots were happening in Fairground Park, when they were integrating the pool. And like burning crosses outside her house and stuff like that.
Well, that was
And-
like 400 years ago, right?
well, it was. Oof. Not
Why,
that
why are
long
people
ago.
still mad?
So she's pretty open about stories, and like we don't know part of it. Look, Irish men back in the day had a habit of getting drunk and just skipping town and not being around. So
But you know what? But that's true, and that was kind of the previous generation, and we've talked about this before on the show. The great Mia Jackson even brought it up. But like the previous generation was known to just have different lives in different cities. Like
Yeah.
they invented ghosting. Like they would literally go, "All right, well, I'm gonna go see my grandma. I'll catch you when I can," and we wouldn't see him for 20 years, and then you discover when you turn 30 that you got a little brother that's been living in Florida.
yeah.
Two things.
So it's like,
Every sitcom in the 80s, the dad would just show back up at a certain point. Even in the 90s, you saw that. And then an entire genre of rock music in the 70s was based on dudes leaving town and banging runaways. Like this is an entire genre of folk rock music that we still celebrate to this day. Like, don't think about it. It's like she was a freshman in high school. It's like what?
But that's the
No.
thing. Like, I find it funny that older, like adults, the people that are older than us, have the nerve to ask us to be authentic when their entire existence is full of shit.
Well,
You
not
people
all of them.
literally like, and here's why I say that, because the only reason, and they're really mad at the internet because the internet has caught their misdeeds. That's why they hate technology.
Right.
Is that why Josh
because-
Hawley's doing what he's doing?
The internet.
Exactly.
The internet helping Bob Lazar, the famous engineer, helping him now hurts the misguided parents with multiple families.
Yeah,
Right? That's the only correlation to make on this show.
that's a tie. Somehow you got a Rogan type reference in
Okay.
there.
All right.
No, my parents are pretty open about. I mean, look, I know where I was conceived.
Okay.
I asked questions. My dad
Okay.
answered questions. Mary Kay Motel, North County, one of 2 rooms,
Oh,
somewhere over there.
No, that would call for.
I would like to know if Neil Diamond was playing in the background.
Why?
Because my parents love Neil Diamond. They
Mm.
love Neil Diamond. Big time. So I imagine that's their biggest turn on music.
I have a question, or I have a thought. There are 2 instances that I'm not afraid to share. There was a dog that I had when we lived in Cape Girardeau.
There's a lot of animal stories.
Yep, dog that we had in Cape Girardeau.
Seems
this,
to be a rural thing.
to this
Ben
day.
Frederickson's the same way.
To this day, it's been hypothesized that Mom may have let him out of the car. She was in a hurry. He supposedly jumped out of the car in Cape Girardeau, had to go pick me up, couldn't find him when we went back, and then there was a bird dog later on that supposedly my dad didn't like, that we all blamed him for just letting her run off. But reality is they both probably ran off. But those are the 2 things.
Do they do it on purpose?
Those are the things. Now, I don't think they were.
Nope.
But if it came up,
Lie detector on JPD,
and LRD.
LRD.
Well, let's put a
I would
bow
like
on
lie
this
detector.
and
Would be
let's
LD.
ask the question that's on our minds. Let's ask the real question that's on our minds. What is the probability that your parents have a body buried somewhere?
That's 0.
Are you certain? Are you 100% confident that JPD does not have a... Look, I'm not saying it wasn't justified. I'm not saying JPD probably wasn't in the right for
Sure.
burying the body. I'm
Sure.
just saying, what is the probability? You're saying 0%, Chris.
Yeah,
With
0%. Yeah, I mean, I think it's much higher that
Okay.
that your mother possibly had somebody that wronged you. Maybe they stole the wheel off your bike. Maybe they ended up in the bottom of an apartment basement in
My
the city of
mother,
St.
I
Louis.
think my mother would be 0%. I think my father is hovering between 60 and 80.
Oh,
Oh wow! You think there's some people buried on the grounds of Memphis, the university?
My family grew up in the projects in St. Louis, and let's just say the technology that's afforded to the test didn't exist back then. So I think it would have been easier to have certain people disappear. So that's why I'm going with the 60 to 80%. I'm not saying that it wasn't justified. Some people gotta disappear, bro. They be like that sometimes.
I don't know if that's justifiable.
what
But-
project? I'm curious.
I think I've said too much. Gardner, what about you?
No, I'm wondering if it was it Pruitt-Igoe. I'm just curious because
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
okay. Well, I mean, no one really goes there, so that would be a good spot.
Exactly.
That's why I'm asking.
Exactly.
So it could be a
And-
decent area until if they keep building
And-
north like they have now,
Oh boy!
then you could find yourself trouble with some DNA technology here.
You see your family out there picketing super hard about them not developing one area.
So maybe suggest to your dad gently, you don't even have to accuse him in any way. Hey, if something's happened and you've used those grounds, maybe make a move. You got to move the body maybe. And you don't even have to say body,
Okay.
just move whatever's happened. I won't ask questions, but if something's there, maybe take care of it now before it gets hairier.
And maybe mother is too specific. Let's kind of open this up a little bit because we all care near and dear about our mothers.
Hold on, I want to
Let's
make
open
this
this bad
clear
boy up.
too. We're theorizing if our parents have killed people and buried the bodies.
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
what we're
you.
doing
It's
here?
very helpful. Yeah.
In theory, yes.
Okay.
Because this story raises an important questions. How well do we know our parents? How well do we know our family? So let's again, maybe mother's too specific. What's the probability of someone in your family having buried a body somewhere? Someone in your family. You don't have to say who and what your relation is to them, but someone in your family. Yeah, see, now it gets interesting.
Well, I'm
Because now
thinking.
you know there is, because everyone has that one family member that you know has done something. Man, you may have crossed that line.
Yeah, I could see it being the case.
Okay.
I don't know. Wouldn't be able to begin to guess the circumstances. But look, I would think a lot of people would have that in them, though. Maybe they're pushed to a certain. Everyone is capable of murder. I
got
believe
some.
that.
I've had some relatives that would be like, they'd be good in a Coen brother. They'd be good for a Coen brothers style murder, like an accidental, like
Yeah.
swing, like damn it, he kills his wife in William H. Macy. Like
Fargo.
he didn't mean to kill her. He didn't. He's an evil little turd, but he didn't mean to do it. Like I have some relatives that they get a little angry and mean to hit something with a shovel, and then all of a sudden there's somebody with a snapped neck.
And then you panic.
Yeah, correct. Now there's some family land, and I don't know if you're familiar with French Village, Missouri. Maybe I need to go walk those grounds to check that out.
Family land?
Mhm.
What about old family land? We used to have 10 acres up in Louisiana, Missouri.
Oh, that's like a front yard. Call that land.
With a lake on it.
Oh, okay. Now you're talking.
So maybe if I think back to places like that,
Yeah.
that's would have been where they would have gone.
Mhm.
Maybe not near the house or
Right.
anything along those lines, or even in.
Can I ask one question though? Because Chris, your family does own a ton of farmland. If like I needed to hide something, if I were to deposit a dollar amount into a Denman checking account,
Well, it'd be offshore and it would be
would
under D Incorporated. But sorry, go ahead.
would it be a problem?
I mean, what are we talking? You're gonna keep a good
I
attitude.
just gotta,
about things?
if
I
I'm
mean,
trying to, I gotta store
Are
something.
you quiet?
I need to store something. I'll come for it later.
Sure,
But I just need to
sure.
put
No,
it away.
no, that's
You would
no, you
sing
have
like
to-
a bird. Could not trust you.
It
with
was.
something
White
like
people made me do it. It's a systematic racism, privilege, blah blah blah.
The money would be nice, but just knowing that you could end up. Oh my God, you wouldn't last an hour under questioning.
He would tweet it.
Really?
He would tweet it. He would tweet at STL County PD. I don't know if this is a city or a county thing, but I know a white guy with a body.
Oh man,
I wouldn't fold. I would only fold under money. I wouldn't fold under duress.
Oh, okay.
Now, if somebody offered me money and like, hey, Travis, I'm going to give you X dollars to tell me where Chris buried the bodies, then I'd be like, oh yeah, bro, it ain't nothing. I got you. I'll walk you to the. In fact, I got a map. But if it's a matter of like jail time, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't gonna do that to somebody.
I'm
ain't
just
have
picturing
go to
you
prison for something hurt me.
getting questioned and you trying to figure out what your answers are. Like when you try to figure out what you're about to say, even on this show, when you start doing your head move, they're asking you questions. You know where and you're just like, "Hey man, I ain't know."
Hey, Polly wants a cracker in the form of dollar bills.
And,
I wouldn't crack that easily.
I think
Like,
you would.
I wouldn't snitch. I'm not a snitch. That
No,
I
but
wouldn't do.
they'd apply very light. I'm talking Swedish massage pressure, and you'd sing. It'd be over.
I wonder how long it would take me to crack.
Depends on
It
what
depends
the
on the
agenda
crime.
was.
It depends
Yeah.
on what the crime was.
Well, I would
But
be
if-
sure
if-
to.
I think you would stay imprisoned for a lifetime if you just felt that you were annoyed by them asking you about it. But then I think you'd sing like a bird if it was something serious. Like I think you'd get out quick if it was a particular subject that you found to be deplorable or rough, but you could, all you have to do, and the person wouldn't even get in that much trouble, as a proof of point and how stubborn you are.
Yeah.
I think you would sit there
I am
and
stubborn.
you would take up a cause and go on hunger strikes and the whole deal.
Great T-shirts.
For not for not much.
Hey, I got a logo idea. I got a new movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that happen.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I would probably make, like, as soon as they asked me my name, I'd be asking for a lawyer right away, probably. Give me my
waiting.
lawyer.
Yeah.
I got a dream team for this particular
Right.
instance. I've been waiting for this. You may have been waiting for me, but I've been waiting for this my entire life, and I am prepared. And I'm only talking through my attorney. That's that. Or if you're gonna question me,
They're like,
he or
sir,
she will be here with me.
sir, we literally just saw you drop a piece of gum in front of a. If you could just go pick it up.
Did you?
I mean, the camera shows it.
Let's see what my attorney has to say.
Well, you don't need an attorney. It's going to cost you money. If you just pick up the gum,
Yeah,
I'll just move along.
We'll call you can get my attorney.
I don't even think that's applicable here.
Here's the number.
You're not under arrest.
No, it's okay.
But
Yeah.
you're not.
I'm staying here until my attorney gets
Well,
here.
of course you can. You don't even have to pick it up. I just thought it would be nice of you because the business.
I'm not
owner-
leaving.
Is that your scooter?
Nice. Well done, Gardner.
Did someone take it? Oh, damn it.
Oh, you really stood your ground there, Gardner.
Yeah.
You're a man of principle.
And then I'm in jail for no reason.
Right.
I
They're
end
just
up
like,
there for no reason.
it's unlocked. He can leave.
Yeah. You just won't go. They're paying for it here. This
Uh-huh.
is a free stay. It's like a hotel.
I get it. That makes sense.
Those interrogations, though, are pretty insane. It's been several documentaries. You saw it, of course, of Making a Murderer. Like, man, it is. Gosh, I don't even know if this would sound like cop bashing, but the methods that are often used in those interrogation rooms just seem so unseemly.
That's not cop bashing. There's a fact. Like whether
Yeah.
that's a way to get good information out of shitbags, or if you're bullying somebody into false information, it's a thin line, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, it always is. It's
Yeah.
especially it gets illuminated in bigger cases, I think.
Absolutely.
And there's like
And I can see the
Like,
police
well,
being
hell,
like,
there's
we
even-
do this all the time.
there's even methods that are outlawed here that
Right.
are legal in Canada that get questioned. And
Really?
I'm trying to remember what they call it, like the big or something like that, with how they go about it.
No, that's a
Yeah.
movie with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. The
Oh,
big.
God.
Oh,
The big.
my mistake.
Because they use like someone undercover in a way that it becomes questionable about how they're going about doing to get a confession in a way. And you see, there's false confessions all the time. Like, in people don't understand it, but you don't understand what mentally can be done to someone in a situation like that.
Biggest
Like,
documentary right now about the Central Park. Sorry, what's it called? What's the documentary?
Now
about
They
the-
See Us.
Now
Yeah.
They See Us. Yeah, and I mean that was proven. Literally,
Yeah,
they
I
were
mean,
coached
that's-
into a false.
and that's not, I mean,
statement.
that is not the first time that's happened.
No.
Right.
I mean, so those things do occur. But when you put someone down so mentally that all they're wanting to do is to get away, you're going to be able to get what you want information-wise at a certain point if you do it properly. If you mentally fuck with someone that much.
True. Speaking of mentally fucking with people, do we have a clip of
Oh, I
the
thought you were gonna do a
presidential?
St.
Nope,
Louis
nope, sure
council.
wasn't. Nope,
Okay.
that's a little rough on my
Sorry.
end.
Well,
Do we have a
oh,
clip?
sorry, sorry,
wow.
Sorry.
Clip of the presidential candidates from
Yes.
CNN. This is a mind F in its own, Travis, and it just keeps
boy.
keeps on coming.
Every time I see this now, I like get visibly angry.
It's like opening day at the Cardinals. They're like, and
No,
here's
it's like
here's
Monday Night Football
Here's
lineups.
Lefty McGrew.
Is it really?
From
Yes, it's
1928.
ridiculous.
I want to see this. I haven't
It's-
seen this. I've
it's-
heard about this video clip for a couple days now, and I have not seen it, so I'm excited.
It's all over the place. I see it at home. I see it at the local water. I have to like walk out and go smoke a cigarette when I see it because it like makes me angry now seeing it. Here you go, Travis.
The CNN Democratic presidential debates. Sanders, Warren, Buttigieg, O'Rourke, Klobuchar, Hickenlooper, Ryan, Delaney, Williamson, Bullock,
Jesus.
Biden, Harris, Booker, Yang, Castro, Gabbard,
Oh, God, they're naming them all?
Inslee, Bennett, de Blasio. 20 candidates, 2 big nights. The CNN Democratic presidential debates. Live from Detroit, July
worse
30th
than
and
I
31st
thought.
at 8, only on CNN.
Oh, that's worse than I thought.
Yeah.
That's worse than I thought. That is so bad. It's a great parody.
Yes.
Like it's so bad that you don't even need to parody it. It's already did it to themselves.
I don't know if SNL did this already, but they don't have enough cast members to do this. So you have to. The way you do it is
You know what?
you
That
have
would be hilarious.
you have to use the same person 3 times and then draw attention that you're
Yes.
doing that. Like even like Beck Bennett's dressed up as Tulsi Gabbard, like something. Like
I would
you
just
gotta,
use I would use one cast member for all of
Kate
them
McKinnon.
in that case.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
let Kate
Yeah.
McKinnon just be every single one.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon or bring back Fred Wilson just to play every single one.
Yeah. Because it's
That's
I mean, I think of Monday Night Football lineups, and I think of Key and Peele mocking the Monday Night Football lineups, and that it is ripe for a parody. But then you're like, well, how far have they taken it to that we can actually do something with it? Because
right.
it is kind of ridiculous.
Tom Brown in the comments just made me laugh. That promo is like a comedy show. It's like a promo for a comedy show at Blueberry Hill. There'll be 30 comics on a lineup there, just on a Sunday afternoon. It's great. That's inside ball game, but that's funny.
That is look, and I think we've all understand this no matter where you sit politically, but I think this is just another highlight of how culpable the media is when it comes to the way we view modern day politics. And you're right, Gardner, the Monday Night Football style presentation of it all just seems so trivial in comparison to where we are as a country. And what a very like it's so incredibly tone deaf that you can't even laugh at it. Like you laugh at it because it's so stupid, but at the same tone you're like, wow, this is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, they're going to have a 3-person booth asking questions, right? Moderators. So that's a 3-person booth. You can only imagine what this pre-debate show is going to be like. The graphics they're going to have.
God.
You know what? They should really. I will be disappointed if they don't reincorporate holograms into the debate somehow.
What's stopping them at this point? I'm with you, Gardner. What's stopping them at this point? Like, because once you've reached the ridiculous, like it's like once you buy in to professional wrestling, like you just expect them to go all the way. Well,
right.
Hell, if you're going to hit a guy with a chair, well, of course you should run him over with a car. So, I mean, if you're going to do that type of presentation, why the hell not bring back the hologram? In fact, why not just have holograms host the debates?
Well,
Nice.
yeah, you
Nice.
could.
Your ultimate hologram host?
Well, I wouldn't even go host. I would like audience questions, but it's not audience members. It's like an Abraham Lincoln.
Like an AI
Abraham Lincoln hologram that's asking, is the Republican Party still?
Oh, I like that idea.
So, like, you can even bring historical figures back to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be dope. Can you imagine Margaret Thatcher just like showing up like, what's up, baby girl, Senator Warren? What's good? I've been wanting to ask this question for a few decades. And like that would be a nice little twist to the show.
Black Sheep says that the debates will have a kiss cam and hidden ball game this year. I look forward to that. Do they think they get
Mikhail Gorbachev asking questions on walls?
Oh, nice.
And stuff like that?
Yeah, that'd be good. He's like, now, see, I was told this is not a good thing. Now, what about somebody like an oft forgotten president sitting in the back? Like, did they draw his ticket and he gets to move up to the front, right? Like he gets to upgrade.
Yeah. James Buchanan's asking like about
Southwest Airlines sponsors it.
LGBTQ rights,
right,
and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Geronimo. He's like, hey, anybody recognize Native people yet? What's going on here?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Did you think of that?
I thought you were
That
going to
would be messy.
I thought you were going to take a shot at Elizabeth Warren.
No, but you made the correlation, so I think it's fair game, and that's how it is. I do like this. So, Wilt Chamberlain getting yelled at by John Adams for sitting in front of him.
Like,
hey, come on.
Wilt Chamberlain hologram to de Blasio. How many women have you slept with?
Why do you talk like that?
I don't know. What did I do? He was just angry.
Kind of a chef from South Park sound there.
Oh, really?
Yes,
I didn't even
slightly.
realize. Am I coding? I might be coding, Travis. Sorry.
I'm not sure what you call that. No, this is I think this is you know what? You want to up the production value? Get the House of Mouse involved. Get ESPN involved. Make it truly a spectacle. Let's have the kiss cam. Let's have crowd reactions from outside. We'll interview people on the street.
The post game show, they're going through answers, and someone's like, "Come on, man!"
I think it's funny. I think I think the thing that kind of sends that really makes it more nerve wracking is that when we remember Running Man in the '80s, the preposterous game shows where people's lives were on the lines, or Idiocracy, and how just preposterous everything was, and it was funny because you're just like, oh man, a lot of shit would have to happen for something that stupid to go crazy, and then you go, oh. You realize how close you are to that line. You realize how close you are to Running Man and Idiocracy. It's kind of that was such a bad promo. Someone there, and here's the thing: there was an intern that saw it and was like, "Y'all for real? Y'all want me to hit send?" Yeah, sure.
Let's do it one more time.
So CNN's budget again. NASA calculating what they owe the video editors for this one. Go ahead.
The CNN Democratic presidential debates. Sanders, Warren, Buttigieg, O'Rourke, Klobuchar.
Wait, this is the rough draft?
Delaney, Williamson,
Oh,
Bullock.
this is before.
This isn't the actual ad.
Biden,
Harris,
certainly not
Booker,
Harris.
Yang, Castro,
still
Gabbard,
here?
Gillibrand,
The line.
Inslee,
The line.
Bennett,
Why is
Do
it
it that
Blasio?
Inslee.
20 candidates, 2 big nights. The CNN Democratic presidential debates, live from Detroit,
Somebody been
July
on camera?
30th and 31st at 8, only on CNN.
Travis, do you think they
But we
chose?
cut.
Do you think they chose Detroit because of the historical WrestleMania at the Detroit Pontiac Silverdome? Just to add to the aura? Do you think that's why they did it? Maybe the most famous WrestleMania of all time, right? I'm not
Here's
even a
the
wrestling
thing.
fan. I know that.
I think the thing that makes this a little bit more preposterous is that someone had to come up with this concept and pitch it. It's not just developing. It's not just a kid going to a lab and just hey, Bobby, etch this up. We need a promo for the Democratic debates. Whatever you got, send it our way. We're going to put it on the air. There is an executive in a newsroom that says, all right, so hear me out. So we have all 20 candidates. And then their faces pop up, and someone sat in a room or surrounded by their colleagues and pitched this idea. And there are, I would imagine, are a lot of experienced, educated people in that room, and no one said nah. That's the scary part. There are a lot of smart people who have years of decades of newsroom experience and television experience in that room that went to the Harvards, the Northwesterns, the Syracuse, the Mizzous, that sat in that room, heard that pitch, and said, cool.
But instead, they make a copywriter now have arthritis in their fingers. They've got the typing problems now because of that. CNN, shame on you.
Yep, it's all right, here's what I want. I want you to make a promo that scares the shit out of people when it comes on television. Whoa! And then at the end, it's bam, 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 bam. You're like, what the hell just happened?
And we need it to be as long as a Royal Rumble lineup. That's so perfect.
It's all over the place.
Is that what news networks just ultimately think of us? Is you know what I'm saying? Is that just?
They think we water our lawn with Gatorade.
It's pro wrestling anyway, so let's give them a pro wrestling promo.
Maybe, and I'm not going to argue that, but I think everyone's had a hand in that development of our brainwashing.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, I think that blame would definitely go around. So maybe we're just getting what we've asked for.
It all started with Mountain Dew.
Presentation. Yeah, maybe this is what. Look, you guys wanted this kind of mess. Now you got to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chris, I do have a story that I wanted to share with you very quickly because I think you are going to owe these people an apology because you have spent years maligning their name, their work, the things that they do to keep our country safe. And there was something they did yesterday, and I think you will owe these fine folks an apology.
So let's deep tease it. I'll do a quick live read for St. Louis Counseling Services. That's right. St. Louis Counseling online. You can see the website, all their capabilities for schools, businesses, individuals. Cannot recommend them enough. I've personally recommended their services to several friends, several folks I know, and they're very happy with the response and the counseling they receive from St. Louis Counseling Services. Again, improving lives since 1955. Also, check out the podcast, Mental Health Matters, with Tom Duff, where he interviews different folks from all different walks of life, and they break down the stigma that mental health has in our world today. That's St. Louis Counseling Services and Mental Health Matters. Travis, continue.
TSA finds missile launcher in man's bag at Baltimore airport.
I found a missile launcher.
And
on
I don't
me
mean
once.
the missile launcher in his pants.
You know what? Fuck these people.
Maybe that's what they were looking for this entire time, Chris.
They've
That's
been
your
so aggressive.
That's
the
what
entire
they've
time.
been searching for, and you're sitting up here worried about, oh, my penis, oh, my private. You owe the folks at TSA an apology because they were looking for a rocket launcher this
They're
entire
vindicated.
time.
It's
It's not their fault that they confused you with the rocket launcher.
So
Frankly, you should have said thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
The two separate, maybe more at this point, over the pants sexual assaults I received. I haven't even told you guys about the one in Phoenix.
Uh-oh.
It's actually Mesa Airport. So, no, this doesn't. One rocket launcher's taken out like, what, 30 people at most? I live with this for the rest of my life. The over-the-pants sexual assault I've received on many occasion, from the two-handed snag to the headlock it was put in, from the guy in Miami International
Not the headlock.
to the other guy. And then the echoing laughter that I heard in the background from my stupid friend watching me be assaulted. No, rocket launcher, I don't
Okay.
care if it's a nuclear warhead. That's only taking out part of the country. Listen, they are there to harass and to make your life hell. This does not exonerate them.
I think that they protect our borders. I don't know why you're for open borders, Chris. I think they protect a very important part of the American economy, that is American aviation. So why do you hate the U.S., Chris? If you don't like it, leave.
Listen, pal.
How about you how about you head back to Germany, huh?
Oh,
How about
no.
you pack your bags? You and your family, why don't you go ahead at you and Chancellor Merkel, why don't you guys go hang out at your little Oktoberfest? Yeah.
Didn't you host an
Yeah, don't like it,
Oktoberfest
not
last
Yeah,
year?
you did.
It was good, man. We hosted it. That was a lot of fun.
Travis,
We
is
did.
there any way?
Oh, you must be from the Black Forest.
Oh boy, here we go.
Where do you think this gentleman's from, boys and girls? The person caught with the missile launcher, by the way.
Wait, do you know? Are we playing a game?
Oh, we know.
Oh, we know. Okay, where was the airport?
The airport's Baltimore.
Baltimore. He's gonna be traveling. I'm just gonna go proximity. West Virginia's close enough.
I was going to say
Come
Texas.
on, Chris. Come on now. It's an
Florida.
insane story. Thank you.
Sorry.
What are we
How-
doing here?
how dare
we
I.
always start this answer with Florida. Every
Yeah, we
single
were
time.
trying not to.
Yeah,
there.
I know it was too cliche, right?
Yeah,
But
we were trying to come up with something a little different.
it's like
This is how it goes. This is how it's being
OxyContin
reported
was
in the
falling
New York.
out of his pockets.
But this is the ultimate, and this reminded me of the Dave Chappelle bit where he says, "I didn't know I couldn't do that." The man, whose name has not been released, told authorities that he was an active member of the military and wanted to take the missile launcher home with him to Jacksonville. Absolutely. Actually, I'm sorry. It's Texas, not Jacksonville, Florida.
Thank you.
I
You
apologize.
guessed Texas?
Yes.
That is the ultimate exercising of right. Well, hey, come on, dude.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what? I
he's
apologize
got,
to
like-
the state of Florida. I got that one wrong.
He's got his favorite band stickers on it. Like, he thinks it's just like a cool thing he gets to carry around. Hey, man, Troy got me that. It's sweet.
Well, the question now becomes, how did he get it overseas? Because he had it in his bag and he arrived in Baltimore.
Tell you how. He said, you're not going to say shit. Move.
Very likely.
Safety's
TSA
off.
It's a
said the
guitar.
weapon which-
It kills.
The TSA said the weapon, which was inert, was quickly confiscated and turned over to the Maryland Fire Marshal for safety disposal. The man was then allowed to catch his flight. What? Hold on. What? Come on. Wait. What?
Oh no. This is going to quickly turn into Travis railing against the United States treatment of black people.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
What color is he?
Man, forget it.
When's the first time you got pulled over at Mizzou for having braids?
Come on, man.
Oh,
Man, I got,
Oh, no.
man,
did you just
come
realize
on,
you could have used this tomorrow and you're like, damn it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Come on. How you.
We don't know who he is, though. We don't know if he's black or
You
white
can't-
or another ethnicity.
Remember when Barry Switzer was caught with the firearm in his suitcase?
Yeah.
That guy got suspended, basically lost his job. You're telling me this guy's walking around with a grenade launcher post 9/11, and
How
go on with your
confident,
flight, sir?
percentage-wise, how confident are you that the person we're talking about is white?
I am 98% confident.
What's that 2%? Hispanic?
Yeah,
It's
Texas.
just doubt.
We ain't bringing. I'm sorry, man. And we ain't getting. I'm trying to understand how we're even getting into the country with a bullet in our book bag, let alone a grenade launcher. So no way in hell did a brother come from another country. A brother from a country with a grenade launcher? Come on, man.
I'm just curious.
Now, can I ask a question? If
You
his
may.
name was Sergeant Habib Muhammad, would they have let him get back on his flight?
Why are you
No.
going to make it Habib Muhammad?
No.
I'm just saying. I'm just
You are,
questioning. If his
You
name
are.
was
You hate
Lee
stereotypes,
Otis,
and you are nothing but a stereotyper.
if his name was Lee Otis, if his name was Colonel Lee Otis Jackson, is he getting back on that flight?
I don't know. I mean, it could have. Now, see,
Leotis
Jackson, his missile
Leotis
launcher.
Jackson, and he was going to Jacksonville. Is he a namesake of the founder of Jacksonville?
Second
Very, very
question:
possible.
Does Colonel
Okay.
Leotis Jackson, is his missile launcher a little more fancy? I mean, is it a little shinier? Does it have like plum coloring down the side of it? Is there maybe
Plum coloring.
Is there maybe some shine to it? Maybe some graphics?
Plum
maybe
coloring.
maybe there's an airbrushed memory on the side.
Is
Missile launcher.
PFC Steve Harvey being allowed to get back on that plane?
Oh.
Harvey. Yes, with that mustache, he's a delight.
That's true.
Maybe not.
That's unreal.
Maybe not.
How do you come on? Like, I don't. So y'all do see why that's crazy, right? Like you don't get to get back on your flight. I get to talk to you for a couple hours. I get to ask, how in God's name did you get a rocket launcher on a commercial airline and fly to the United States of America? How do you just go about their day after they find a grenade? Like, that's not even, like, first of all, it has to be overweight. Like, so he had to probably pay extra fees to bring it over. So I'm like, somebody at some point, look, Chris, what was the security process we went through just to get a drone through the airport?
Oh, he took half the Honduran army inspecting it, which
Thank you.
they don't have much of an army, so they really pulled
And
resources.
mind you, I
for
understand that he's active, and mind you, I understand this individual was active military, but they still have to abide by certain regulations when they travel. So he had to have violated one of those regulations, right?
Have we all seen?
Yes. I would assume so.
Yes.
Look, I think bringing this thing is a violation, obviously.
Have we all
Of
seen
something.
Yeah.
something? You can send it back via military mail or something. There's a cargo plane you want to send it back on.
It's-
You can't be shipping grenade launchers anywhere. I hope that's not a thing.
But here's what was smart about this, is that there's no middle ground really to have an argument with it. What he did was take it to such an extreme that now people will laugh about it and say, "Oh, this crazy guy tried to do this." He's made it a different story. If it was something less, like let's say a couple handguns or
point.
something, like then it's going to be, "Oh, what are you doing trying to like?" And then
That's a good point.
people can grasp that idea. Like that's something. People can't grasp the idea of trying to bring this through, a missile
That's a
launcher
good
through,
point.
No one's
Oh, he got a submarine missile.
what
Oh,
the hell's
Steve.
right? So it's like, oh, this crazy guy. And so now it's become that story, and that's how some people will address it, in that it's just, man, he is out there, man. This is how
But
did
then here comes the Gardner question in this, because there must be a culture that exists where he felt comfortable bringing a grenade launcher overseas. So this isn't something
These are
he
fair
thought
questions.
of again.
Travis, you're being very reasonable.
It wasn't like he was at the grocery store and was like, that is a nice grenade launcher, but I got to travel back to Texas on Thursday. How am I going? He had to have known that, man. I remember that one time, Lieutenant Jackson, he got 14 missiles off that F-16 all the way back to Atlanta. So, I mean, shoot, what's a grenade launcher? So that means this wasn't the first instance where an active military member has tried to bring military equipment back home with them.
Maybe.
I
mean, to this extreme. I mean, I don't recall anyone being, oh, I didn't know I couldn't bring this tank with me. I did not know that was a thing. I apologize. I wanted to use it in a parade.
I'll be honest.
That
The
the
reason
president
why I'm
was
freaking
throwing,
out
so
is
I'm
that,
sorry.
Well, I'll be honest. The reason why I'm freaking out because we spent an entire year a year ago talking a lot of shit about a very powerful Marine. And if it's this easy for active military members, which this particular Marine is now, to bring that type of weaponry back over to the States unaccosted, I wonder if we should, as a show, issue an apology to a particular ex-governor. Because I don't need that. But if you're telling me he can get military equipment back to Missouri very easily, I would like to start right now by saying all the views that I expressed in regards to Eric Greitens were written by Chris Denman.
Oh, no!
He is the head writer of this show.
No!
He has been the one developing our content for the last 4 years. So if you're going to be mad at anybody, Chris Denman lives in South City, St. Louis, in Tower Grove Park. So take your best shot, Mr. Greitens. That's scary, though. And the best part about it was, yes, it's inert, but you don't bring home a grenade launcher just to put in your garage. You're going to try to use it.
I offer no apologies to Eric Greitens.
Okay. I'm just saying, that's a lot of weaponry.
I look forward to our
He's a SEAL.
Yes.
And this guy must have been a SEAL because they're not revealing his information. They're not letting you know who he is. He has to be someone high up the chain because New York Times is not even releasing his name. Think about that. You have to be a very important, very well covered, protected individual with the United States government if you can bring over a grenade launcher, not be accosted by international security, and then they don't even release your name when you're caught, and then you're still allowed to get on your plane. This person is very important.
Yeah. I agree. And I was just curious if you guys had seen Spinal Tap. This could have been one of those situations. Like, are you sure you don't have something in the front of your jeans?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you mean. We'll take a break. We've got a very special guest coming in on the other side. Photojournalist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Some of the pictures he's taken are extremely iconic. So iconic that he's gotten some pretty big awards. You'll hear about
him and the Post.
And the Post. That's right. So Robert Cohen will join us on the other side. We Are Live. Big thanks to Tech Electronics for helping us outfit our studio. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.